Welcome to our series Footsteps to the Divine, where we journey through ancient temples and ashrams across India and beyond.
What is the purpose of human life? Success? Wealth? Joy? Happiness? What if the final goal was liberation? In a small village of Tamil Nadu stands a temple built around that very belief. A temple where a saint, his bride, and an entire gathering are believed to have merged into divine light. This is the sacred story of Achalapuram Shivalokathyagar Temple, and linked to it is the story of Thirugnanasambandar, a poet, a prodigy, a soul immersed in devotion. Achalapuram, once known as Nallur Perumanam, is one of the sacred Shiva temples of Tamil Nadu. The temple is dedicated to Lord Shiva, worshipped here as Shivalokathyagar. For centuries, devotees have believed this temple represents the highest truth of Saivism, reaching the lotus feet of Lord Shiva. Long ago, in the sacred town of Sirkali, there lived a deeply devoted couple named Shivapada Hridaya and Parvathi Ammal. Every day, they visited the temple of Lord Shiva and prayed with complete love and faith. The Lord worshipped there was known as Thoniyappar. After years of devotion and prayer, they were blessed with a beautiful baby boy. They named him Sambandar. One morning, when he was just 3 years old, Sambandar insisted on accompanying his father to the temple. Though hesitant at first, Shivapada Hridaya finally agreed and took the little boy along with him. When they reached the temple, the father prepared to bathe in the sacred Tirtham. Before entering the water, he gently asked Sambandar to wait quietly on the steps nearby. Sambandar watched with excitement as his father dipped into the water and rose back up again. Every time his father disappeared beneath the surface and emerged once more, the little boy laughed with delight. But after a while, something changed. His father remained underwater longer than usual. The child waited and waited, but he still could not see his father. Fear slowly filled the little boy's heart. He did not understand that his father was simply holding his breath beneath the water. To the child, it felt as though his father had disappeared. Suddenly, Sambandar began crying loudly, "Amma! Appa!" His cries echoed through the temple surroundings. At that very moment, Lord Shiva and Mother Parvathi were passing through the heavens on their celestial journey. They heard the helpless cries of the child, and instantly their hearts overflowed with compassion. Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati immediately came down to the temple pond to comfort the frightened child. Mother Parvati gently lifted little Sambandar into her arms. Her heart melted with motherly love. To calm him, she fed him the divine milk from a golden cup, the sacred milk of wisdom and grace. The moment the child drank the milk, he became peaceful and blissful. The fear disappeared from his face, for the child was now receiving the love of the Divine Mother herself. After blessing Sambandar, Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati disappeared once again into the heavens. A few moments later, Shivapada Hridaya returned from his bath. As he approached his son, he noticed drops of milk on his child's lips. Confused and upset, he demanded to know who had fed the child. "Who gave you this milk?" the father asked angrily. But little Sambandar only smiled. The smile made him even more angry. He once again asked him, and then something extraordinary happened. The skies opened. Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati appeared before them in the dazzling divine radiance. At that sacred moment, little Sambandar began to sing. Though only a small child, divine wisdom flowed through him effortlessly. He sang in praise of Lord Shiva, the one who wears earrings, rides the sacred bull, and bears the crescent moon upon his head. Verse after verse flowed from the child like a river of devotion. Lot of people had gathered by now, and they stood in complete amazement. They realized this was no ordinary child. From that day onwards, the child came to be known as Thirugnanasambandar, the blessed child filled with divine knowledge. As he grew older, he composed many sacred hymns known as Devarams, praising the glory of Lord Shiva. His songs spread devotion and spiritual wisdom across the land and continue to inspire devotees even today. Sambandar showed little interest in marriage, but eventually, respecting his father's wishes, he reluctantly agreed. A bride named Mangai Nallal, daughter of Nambiyandar Nambi of Nallur, was chosen. The wedding was arranged at Achalapuram. The temple came alive, filled with music, devotion, and celebration. But after the rituals ended, Sambandar made a choice. He turned towards the sanctum, towards Shiva. With his bride beside him, he sang the final hymn. Not of beginning, but of ending, of surrender. And then a divine light appeared, radiant, calm, and almost calling. One by one, Sambandar, his bride, and every single person present walked into that light and disappeared. No fear, no hesitation, only surrender. It is believed that in that moment they all attained moksha.